Hey, this is Matt again with the Cook's Warehouse, and welcome to our final installment of our Knife Week series. Today I want to give you a little bit of background on all of our storage options for knives and also our cutting boards. And that's going to be a big factor in how long your knives will last you, how long they'll stay sharp for, is the way that you're storing your knives and also the cutting boards that you're using with your knives, because nothing will dull up a knife faster than throwing it in a drawer or using it on a bad cutting board. So we're going to teach you how to avoid that today. So I have a knife here, and I've been over to plenty of people's houses, probably my parents included, where they just throw sharp knives in the drawer. Yes, I'm calling mom and dad out. They're probably gonna watch, but you never wanna throw a knife in the drawer for a couple of reasons. First of all, the safety reason. Obviously, you're gonna reach in there, you're gonna forget that you have a sharp knife in there, and you're gonna cut yourself. But second of all, it's also horrible for your knives. You know, a knife's edge is a very delicate thing. And if you're just throwing it in a drawer, it's gonna bang around on everything that's in there, and it's gonna dull up your knives very quickly. So I'm gonna start with our most basic storage options, and then I'm gonna kind of go up from there. If you do like to keep your knives in drawers, that's fine. I know a lot of people have small kitchens like me. You don't necessarily have space on your counter for a block or anything like that. So our most basic options would be an edge guard. So we have a couple different styles of edge guard. The most basic ones are basically just a plastic sleeve, and your knife slots in there. And now you see, so this one, probably want to find one that'll fit your knife a little bit better since the sleeve's a little bit of the edge exposed. But you can see that the edge is covered, so the edge isn't going to be bumping on anything, and you're also not going to cut yourself. I particularly like this style, so this is made by Victorinox. This is a blade safe. I believe these sell for about $7. And these actually are a clamshell style, and you put your knife in there and they'll actually latch. So the knife's not coming out. It's got rubber that holds the blade in there. And so you can throw this in your drawer and you're never gonna hurt yourself or hurt your knife. And you can take it on the go as well. It's a great option. So our next option for in-drawer storage is an in-drawer organizer like this one. So this one's made by Wusthof. So this is a way to keep knives in a drawer, but keep them a little bit tidier and also protected. They go edge down into these slots, and these slots will prevent the edge from banging around and make sure that the sharp edge isn't exposed where you're gonna reach in and cut yourself. So if you wanna keep your knives in the drawer, this is a little bit nicer option. I'm gonna show you what one looks like. We use these in our teaching kitchen quite a bit. And so this is what one looks like when it's loaded with knives. So you can see it has both small slots for paring knives and utility knives up here, and bigger slots down here that can accommodate larger knives. So this is another great option for knife storage at home if you wanna keep your knives in a drawer. So our next option for knife storage is a block, the ubiquitous knife block, which is sort of a status symbol on everybody's counter to have their beautiful knife block out. Not everybody has a huge kitchen with lots of counter space. Like I definitely don't. I live in a single apartment, so the block isn't a great choice for me. But if you have the counter space, they can be a really beautiful addition to your kitchen, and they also will do a really great job of keeping your knives accessible and handy. This is a beautiful knife block made by Wusthof, and this is made out of acacia wood. We also have them made out of other different woods, bamboo, really any type of look that you're going for, and also the number of slots. We have lots of different options. So I think everybody knows how a knife block works. I won't show you how that is, but just know that a knife block is a great option. It's gonna keep your knives safe, accessible, and it's gonna keep you safe as well. So our last option happens to be my favorite way to store your knives, and that is a magnet strip that you can hang on the wall. We have a couple different varieties here. This one sells for $27.99. I think you could easily fit about 8 knives on here, possibly even more. So this is a pretty lengthy one. And so the reason why I love magnet strips so much is if you have beautiful knives, you really want to have them on display. But if you're like me, you don't want to rob yourself of counter space like you would with a block. So this is a great option to hang them on the wall, where they're not taking up space that anything else would be taking up, but you still can grab them and you can still have them on display. Not only that, but on a magnet strip, the edge doesn't make contact with anything. So the edge is actually perfectly protected. I think this is one of the best options, not only for protection of your knives and safety, but also for being able to display your knives. So a magnet strip is really a great option. So the last thing I want to talk about is cutting boards, because the surface that you're cutting on has a lot to do with how well your knife's edge is going to hold up. So you want to make sure you're using a really nice cutting board, not only because a cutting board is an important tool in the kitchen and you want to have an adequate board, but also it's going to help you take care of your knives. So right here I have kind of the creme de la creme, and that's a solid wood cutting board. So this one's by John Boos, which is one of my favorite manufacturers. They're kind of the gold standard in wooden cutting boards, or one of the gold standards in wooden cutting boards. And this one happens to be maple. This is a huge cutting board. So not everyone's gonna wanna have a huge one like this. We have wooden ones in all sizes, and this one is maple. So a hardwood cutting board is actually naturally antimicrobial. It's the easiest on your knife edge of any of the main cutting board materials, and they're also just beautiful. They absolutely look gorgeous in your kitchen. But the downside is that they do require a little bit of extra maintenance. So you can't put them in the dishwasher. They will absolutely warp, they will split. That's just the way that wood is. So you have to hand wash them. Every so often you will want to oil them with food grade mineral oil to keep them hydrated, and that's going to keep them from splitting or from the seams from separating. And so if you're willing to put in the work, a wooden cutting board is really the absolute best that you can have. They are wonderful tools in the kitchen. But there are other good options that I also want to go over that are much, much easier to care for. So let's go over some of those. So a great alternative to wood is a composite board like these from Epicurean. These we sell also. We sell a lot of these, and these are really a wonderful board for a few reasons. The first thing that I love about them is they have these rubber grips on the corners, so your board stays really nice and planted. That's a really important thing when you're working with a cutting board in the kitchen. You don't want to have a cutting board that's going to be sliding around. Not only is it frustrating, it's also really not that safe. These boards are actually made of a composite material that is wood-based, and so they have a lot of the same properties as far as how they care for your knife edge as wood. The difference being that these can go in the dishwasher and they don't require the maintenance that a wooden board requires. So you can put them in the dishwasher, you don't have to keep them oiled or anything like that. And they're also quite a pretty and attractive board. So you can see they have a really nice look to them, and I would be happy to have this on my countertop. Things that you want to avoid. Hard plastics, I won't name names, but do not go and buy a cutting board from certain Swedish furniture stores. Just don't do that to your good knives. And especially absolutely avoid anything that would be Pyrex, glass, marble, anything like that. They may look pretty, they're gonna absolutely destroy your knives. So it's important to have a great cutting board for the longevity of your knives. I hope that you'll come by and take a look at the cutting boards that we sell here at the Cook's Warehouse or order online. Either way, we're really happy that you've joined us for Knife Week. We hope that you've learned something about knives. And if you have any questions about knives, feel free to message or call us, and we will be happy to answer those. So feel free to ask us anything about knives. Thank you.